baseball fan, they said. It'll be fun, they promised. What's that they say about the blind leading the blind? Ugh. Okay, so a lot has happened over the last couple days. So before we get to yesterday specifically, let's hit some of the major headlines. Remember that Paul DeJong hit by pitch that took a New York Review to confirm? Yeah, it broke his hand, and he had surgery to insert a plate to make sure that his fifth metacarpal heals properly. Just want to clarify, he's the only major league shortstop for the Cardinals. So the Cardinals recall Jairo Munoz. Remember him? The starting second baseman for the home opener? Yeah, that guy. He'll be getting most of the playing time at short, according to the powers that be, for the next 6 to 8 weeks or so. Unless you ask Matheny, because, well, then he'll tell you it's SUBCHO at shortstop every day. Never underestimate the power of communication, kids. And the folly of playing guys out of position on purpose. But we'll get back to that later. Oh, and the whole Matt Bowman might magically end up on the DL. Blisters. That'll do it. And after that dreadful performance in the series opener, the Cardinals actually managed to clobber Gabe Kapler's Phillies in Game 2, putting up 12 runs on 15 hits, including 2 from Matt Carpenter, 3 from Francisco Pena, and 4 from Jose Martinez. That was the first time they'd put up double-digit runs since that early April game where they scored 13 against the Reds. Each of the 3 Cardinals pitchers gave up at least 1 run in that game, but when you're putting up 12 runs as a team, that doesn't seem to matter much. Even without DeJong and Molina, the offense looked good again in one flash of brilliance. But I learned my lesson about betting on that to become a trend. So then there was Saturday. As we wait on Carlos Martinez, who was only going to miss 1 start, but definitely now 2, and maybe 3 or 4 actually, we got John Gant against the Phillies. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of miss the days when his hair was the most important thing I had to talk about. A first inning error by, you guessed it, Jed, not really a major league shortstop, Jerko, cost Gant the lead early, and then superstar center fielder Odubel Herrera would make matters worse with a 2-run bomb in the 3rd. It's not that Gant was terrible, it's just that when the Cardinals don't score runs, any little blip on the radar is magnified. So the Cardinals really needed to score. Matt Carpenter's 500th career walk kicked off what would be a big inning for the Cardinals in the 4th. Then a Phillies fielding error and a Jed Jerko single later, he gives and he takes away, and the game was tied at 3 apiece. But alas, shutdown innings are for winners, not for losers. 2 singles and a walk loaded the bases, and that would be the end of the day for John Gant, who gave way to Brett Cecil. And Jed, the nice guy that he is, felt bad about those unearned runs earlier, so he decided to give them back. On a tailor-made double play ball, he threw it away at first, although you could argue that Jose Martinez should have come up with the play there, but we all know that he's not exactly the defensive strong point for this team. And ta-da! A 2-run lead once again for the Phillies. Dexter Fowler doubled and scored in the 5th inning before a 40-plus minute rain delay, and later on, Tyler O'Neill, the Hulk himself, hit his first major league home run to tie things back up again at 5. Another throwing error from the Phillies put Tommy Pham in scoring position for Matt Carpenter, who once again doubled down the right field line to give the Cardinals the lead. That's 4 doubles in the last 4 days for Carpenter, who seems to be adjusting his hitting approach after all. And after just 12 pitches in a scoreless 7th for Jordan Hicks, Mike Matheny inexplicably turned to Greg Holland in a 1-run game in the 8th. I say inexplicably, but it's kind of not, because, they brought this guy in to be the closer, or at least to pitch late in games in important innings to get key outs. Unless they have another guy that can fill that role, and let's be honest, Bud Norris can't pitch 6-7 outs every night. Holland is going to have to be out there at some point. Or maybe not, ever. I mean, that'd be okay. Because after 2 outs, he gave up a walk and a triple and a single. Ball game. I mean, not officially, but basically. Bud Norris cleaned up the mess, but it was too little too late. And just days after complimenting Mike Matheny on his power move of swapping Bader for Carpenter late in the game because the situation called for it, he fell back into his old ways of making a personal choice to leave Greg Holland out there to try to get it right. And it cost the game. Look, Mike can't pitch for Greg Holland, and I can't imagine it would be very pretty if he did. However, he can and probably should have a quick hook, like Gabe Kapler has had with his relievers, like Tony La Russa did before that. If he goes out and walks a guy, that should be it, at least for now, until they find a way to let him prove that he can walk someone and not allow them to score. I don't know where he's going to get that chance, though. So the Phillies threw the ball all around the infield, and the Cardinals still managed to lose. But they scored 6 runs. How does this happen? As the critics would say, thanks, Matheny.